So, let me start off by telling you about Christina. She was born on March 26th, 2006, and was raised in Waterboro, South Carolina. Her parents were Rita and Walter, but they would ultimately divorce, and Christina was raised by her mother, Rita. Christina had two older sisters. Christina was born with cerebral palsy with spastic quadriplegia. Because of her condition, she was bound to a wheelchair. She was not mobile. She could not speak. And she had to rely on caregivers to take care of her. She also had developmental disabilities and a seizure disorder. Christina brought great joy to the people around her. She was a happy girl. She loved watching cartoons, specifically Dora the Explorer. She loved going in the swimming pool, and she could feel a whole range of emotions just like everybody else. She could be happy, she could be sad, she could be in pain. In that way, she was exactly like you and I. Now let me give you some information on her mother, Rita. She was a teacher working for the Colton County School District since 1994. She taught in the Thunderbolt Career and Technology Center in Waterboro. She worked with students who wanted to go into the field of education. Rita was awarded Teacher of the Year 2 times in her school district. she gets out, she opens the back door, she looks in at Christina, she closes the door, she goes back inside at 12:30. So that was just a 1-minute situation there, okay? So at 1:45, the couple comes back outside and argues on the porch. Now, don't forget, Christina has been in the car now since 11:16, and now it is 1:45. That's like 2.5 hours, okay? So, as I said, they're outside, they're arguing for a while. At 2:03, you see them hugging outside on the porch, and then they go inside and reportedly have sex while Christina's out in the car on a hot day. Okay, they come out again at 3:01, and they start smoking cigarettes on the porch and talking. Rita goes to the car to get some more cigarettes, but at this point she realizes she has locked herself out of the car. So they spend about 10 minutes trying to get in by yanking on the car door handles and walking around the car. Then they go to his shed and look for some tools. They go back to the car. They try to open it with a coat hanger, and they still can't get it open. So they sit on the porch on the swing, and they swing for about 15 minutes. Then at 3:32, they go back inside. Then at 3:52, they get into Larry's truck and they drive to Rita's house to get the spare key. She lives about 20 minutes away. So at 4:40 p.m., they return with the key. Then they just sit in the car for 4 minutes. Just sit there, chatting, whatever. Then they get out and try to open the door with the spare key, but it won't open. So they walk around a bit and they hug some more. Apparently, the battery must have been dead in the key fob, so when they press the button, nothing happens. So Larry calls up a locksmith guy and talks to him about what he should do, and the guy tells him if you pop open the key fob, there's a spare key in there. So finally, at 4:58 p.m., they are able to get the car open and they get Christina out. So 4:58, that is 5 hours and 42 minutes, almost 6 hours that they left Christina in the car. Now, she could not scream or shout or open the door or anything like that, okay? Anyway, so they get her out of the car, and then they realize she's not responsive. She's hot. Sadly, she has died, and they seem to be aware of that fact. And paramedics were not able to save Christina, unfortunately. Rita's explanation was that she had left Christina in the car so she could go in and get some cigarettes, and when she came back, the door was locked. And that was her story. But the police were able to watch all the security footage, and it was quite clear that the couple was lying. They were both arrested and charged with Christina's murder. Rita and Larry were tested for drugs, and they both were positive for methamphetamine. As it turns out, they were just coming down from a 3-day meth bender. Now, the couple claimed that they had not taken any meth that day, and that the meth in their system was just left over from previous days. They both pled not guilty to Christina's murder. They got out on $100,000 bail and were able to await their trial, which did not take place until late August of 2023, which would be 4 years after Christina's death. According to investigators, the temperature inside that car that day was between 130 and 135 degrees Fahrenheit. According to medical experts, prolonged exposure to extreme heat could lead to the body's core temperature rising to dangerous levels, leading to potential heat stroke, organ damage, or even death. Christina's internal body temperature was 110 degrees, and there were blisters and burns all over her body. Her diaper was soiled, and her cause of death was said to be heat stroke. Rita and Larry insisted that they had kept the air conditioning on for the whole time that she was in the car. But the police believe that that is not true, and they think that the couple just turned on the air conditioner right before the police arrived to make it seem like it had been on the whole time. Now, the school that Christina attended made the following statement after her death, quote, "All of us in the Colton County School District are deeply saddened by the death of Cristina Pangalangan, an 8th grade student at Colton County Middle School. Christina truly enjoyed spending time with her classmates and loved to get attention. She had a smile for all of the adults at school that worked with her, and her teachers described her as a very motivated student. She will be dearly missed by all who knew her." In 2021, so before the trial, a lawsuit was filed by Christina's estate against South Carolina's Department of Social Services insurance wouldn't pay for it. They said it was cosmetic, so Mom would work extra tutoring jobs. She would clean houses. She made sure Christina had whatever she needed. Because the insurance often dubbed something unnecessary or cosmetic, she made sure Christina had above and beyond what she needed. She loved her. Christina was her whole world, and she has not been the same every single day we've lived with missing Christina, end quote. So she was trying to show that her mother was very devoted to Christina and meant her no harm, and this was a complete accident. But the rest of Rita's family was not supportive of her innocence. They were basically sitting on the opposite side of the courtroom. Now, a woman who rented a room from Rita, a room at Rita's house, spoke about how oftentimes Rita would try to get her to babysit for Christina, and she recalled this one time when she said she couldn't do it because she had to go to work, and Rita just kept persisting, and she said, so what, you can take her with you to work. And the woman said this at trial, quote, she told me to leave Christina in my car with the windows down because she does it all the time, end quote. So that shows it was a pattern for her to leave Christina in the car when she needed to do something. Although at this time she said leave the windows open at the very least. And there was another witness. It was an 18-year-old woman who was supposedly a student of Rita's at the school, and she was interested in becoming a nurse. So Rita had invited her to come over and learn how to take care of Christina. And it was the first time she had ever met Christina, or the first time she had been involved in her care. And after a little bit of, let's call it training, Rita asked this woman if she could watch Christina that evening. It was Friday, while she went out on a date with her boyfriend. So the woman said, okay. But that one night turned into a full weekend. Rita did not come back until Sunday night, and she also did not leave them with any groceries. So from Friday night to Sunday night, this 18-year-old watched Christina. That Sunday night, Rita and Larry returned from what was their meth bender. They picked up Christina from Rita's house and they went to Larry's house, and it was the next morning that was the date of Christina's death. Larry King's attorney tried to argue that after he put Christina into the car and walked away, he had relinquished responsibility for what happened next, meaning it wasn't his fault. Whatever happened after that was not on Larry. Anyway, they were both found guilty of Christina's murder on September 1st, 2023, 4 years after her death. The judge said this, quote, it's not a traditional murder. It's not you pull a gun and shoot someone in the head, but your conduct was so extremely reckless that it constitutes a willful disregard for human life, and it constitutes murder. He then talked about how sometimes parents will unintentionally leave their child in the car thinking that they dropped them off at daycare. is that case, but let me just throw in a little something extra for you, which I found to be extremely bizarre. A week after Christina's death, her sister Ashley, who is 30, or who was 30 at that time, left her 2 children, ages 7 and 6 months old, in her car at the Walmart parking lot. And she went inside to do some shopping. She left the car running and the air conditioner on, but the air conditioner was blowing warm air, so it was not working. But luckily, the police seemed to notice this somehow, and when she returned to the car, she was arrested. By the way, it was 90 degrees outside at the time when this happened. So she was charged with unlawful conduct toward a minor. The children were fine. They didn't need any medical treatment, but they were taken to a doctor to be checked out anyway, and they were turned over to the Department of Social Services and placed in emergency protective custody. Now, it is unclear what became of this case. I was not able to find any follow-up, but I found it to be extremely disturbing that she was so unmoved by what had happened to her sister, that her sister was Christina. She was unmoved that Christina had died by being left in a hot car, and she knew all the trouble that her mother was in, and yet she left her children in a car. Anyway, let's move on to our thoughts. Please tell me your thoughts on the case in the comments, and I will tell you some of mine. First of all, rest in peace to poor Christina. What she must have gone through, none of us even want to imagine. Just because she could not communicate in the way most of us can does not mean that she did not suffer in the same way that any of us would, being left in a scorching car with no way out. You can't scream, you can't move. Absolutely horrible. and they probably looked in at her and thought she was resting or sleeping. This is just what I'm thinking, okay? Which is why they didn't go into any kind of panic. They're just looking in and thinking she looks okay. Alright, let's figure out how to open the car. And what about Larry? Like his lawyer said, he wasn't really responsible after putting her in the car. Like, it's not his kid and her mother is right there. Why is he responsible? Well, because she is a human, and you should have been well aware that a human cannot sit in a hot car locked inside for 5 hours and 42 minutes. So you are responsible as well. The one good thing that Larry did was at the end when he said that drugs did this to him. So at least he admitted how he got into this position, and hopefully somebody out there will learn something. Will learn what meth can do to people's lives. In this situation, meth truly destroyed 3 lives. 1 innocent life, Christina, and 2 not so innocent lives, Larry and Rita. So I am going to leave it there. Thank you so